Hello! Today we are going to walk through an example of Burke's Pentad and discuss why understanding the Pentad is important as a reader and writer. Kenneth Burke developed the Pentad in his book Grammar of Motives. In that book, Burke showed readers how the Pentad helped audiences understand any situation in a deeper and more profound way. Let's see how. You were asked to look over some images from the Calvin and Hobbes cartoon showing Calvin's love of snow art. We're going to move through the Pentad to better understand Calvin's snow figures. The act section of the Pentad focuses on the plot or the movement of the story. In this case, the act of the comic strips centers around Calvin building snow art. When examining the act of a piece, it's best to determine what kind of act is being performed. In this case, it's an act of creation and expression. Calvin turns to snow to express himself often. The actor-agent section of the Pentad examines who commits the main act of the story. In our case, Calvin creates the snow art. This question of actor isn't always easy, even here in a comic strip. Calvin talks to his tiger Hobbes as if Hobbes could answer, but everyone else believes Hobbes is a stuffed animal. Do you believe Hobbes ever helps Calvin? How does your interpretation change if you believe Calvin has help? The scene of the Pentad explores setting, which must include both time and place. Burke felt this element of the Pentad was the most important to consider. Why? Because time and place dictate many of our choices and actions. Here, we have to include time. It's winter. Calvin cannot create snow art at any other time. It's also daylight and during time when Calvin is expected to be playing. The where is Calvin's immediate neighborhood, which seems pretty expansive. The agency of the Pentad explores the how. How did the actor or agent perform the act? In our case, the question is, how did Calvin create snow art? The agency section of the Pentad brings a new layer of understanding. Calvin could create snow art in a variety of ways. He could have copied other children, asked his parents how to do it, or even found examples somewhere in the wider community. Calvin did none of those things. Instead, Calvin used his imagination and opinions to help him decide the type of snow art to create. This means that Calvin creates art to express himself. The purpose of the Pentad explores the why. Why did the actor or agent perform this action? Why did the actor or agent perform this action in the way that he did? In this case, Calvin performs his actions to express opinions, shock his parents, and entertain himself. Where's our evidence for this? In the third example on the page, Calvin's parents ponder sending Calvin to a psychologist, which means they are concerned with his snow art. In example 10, Calvin creates a snowman in the window of the house making a face at his father, and this shows Calvin's opinion about being sent outside to play. Directly under that strip, Calvin created snowmen on strike because of the decisions his parents made. Finally, the final strip shows Calvin creating smaller snowmen solely for his own entertainment as he plans to run over them with his sled. Is that it? The Pentad seems pretty easy. That's because the Pentad isn't meant to be difficult. It's meant to be a tool to help you understand what's going on in a text. For our purposes, the Pentad shows us how different writers use different writing genres to advance a message and to achieve a desired effect in their readers. Examining our writing models with the Pentad helps us understand the writing on a deeper level, which can only help our own writing get better. In the case of Calvin and his snow art, using the Pentad helped us in three main ways. First, using the Pentad showed us motivation. Burke created the Pentad for this purpose, to show motivation. We need to understand why Calvin does what he does in order to enjoy his art on a deeper level. Next, the Pentad added depth of thought. Exploring Calvin's agency and purpose helps us see that his choices are not always random and not always for the same reasons. Finally, the Pentad provides clarity of commentary. When talking about Calvin and his art, the analysis we've done helps us make specific points with clear evidence. That's it. We've applied Burke's Pentad to Calvin's snow art. Ready for yourself? Let's get started.
Created using Powtoon.